Two of the biggest selling artists in music are hitting the road together. Lionel Richie and Mariah Carey will bring their All the Hits tour to the Twin Cities next month. The Mariah Carey is joining us now to tell us all about it. It's so good to see you.
It's so good to see you, Pat. How are you?
Again, I want to welcome Jeremy to the Everett Silver Show. Jeremy, talk about what teams do you want? You know, I guess we'll be in the playoffs, and what do you think, buddy?
Well, there's a lot going on in the National Hockey League. There's no question about it. There are some great teams that are in the playoff race right now, and there are a lot of teams that are trying to get there. I know the...
Being diagnosed, how do you take care of your health now? Is it different than it was before?
Not really. I mean, the only thing I do differently now is I go get checked up every 6 months just to make sure we're on the right path here. But no, I mean, I'm traveling more than I ever was, crazier than I ever have been. But yeah, I'm really good about working out. I try to eat well, but no change. The only change is my 6-month checkups.
So you're doing well now then?
Yes, I am.
Good, good. So Dr. Shepard, let's talk a little bit about prevention and some of the best ways to prevent cervical cancer and what those are.
Yeah, so the best ways to prevent cervical cancer is to take advantage of the testing that we have. So it's a screening test.
All right, let's move on to the entertainment buff. What's something cool there?
Yeah, so if you're lucky enough to be getting a 4K TV for the holidays, Amazon Fire's all-new Fire TV is the perfect companion gift. It's under $70. It has amazing HDR picture quality and Dolby Atmos audio for everything you're watching, plus access to over 500,000 movies and TV episodes from Amazon Prime Video. And the voice-enabled remote has Alexa built right in. She can do everything from help you find the perfect movie to dim the lights and even order you dinner for a night in.
This 22-year-old genius here to my right, Garrett, I call him Gigi, invented this product at 19. He's like the Facebook guy of pain management, right? He's so young, and he invented this product and just helped me and others, thousands of others, and I just want to educate the world and tell them about it. But I should let Gigi talk because I'm a talker.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Gigi.
Well, Gigi, what is it, man, and what do we need to know about it?
Yeah, so I created Uncle Bud's because I was diagnosed with arthritis in my knees, back, hips, and ankles at age 14, and I was given prescription medicines and over-the-counter pain relievers that never worked for me.
I can't even imagine having a cell phone when I was learning to drive. It just does. That would have been no good at all. So what are some of the most dangerous habits right now with teens?
Well, it all goes back to that distracted driving. You know, the kids are just learning how to keep the car just between the lane lines, and next thing you know, they get a text message. And you know, my son probably gets a text about every 35 seconds. I get one every 20 or 30 minutes. He's getting one, you know, it's probably ringing right now in his pocket. You know, so the kid leans over, looks at the text message, next thing you know, they've crashed the car. And you know, that's why the death rates are so high. But it's nice to see some automakers such as Ford are now including technologies in their vehicles that, you know, no matter what the kid does, it makes it so they don't have these issues. You know, back in 2010, Ford rolled out something called My Key, and it's literally a second key that goes with the car. You know, it acts just like a normal adult key, but you can program it so if the seatbelt's not hooked up, there's no radio. It also limits the radio volume to about 44% so the kids can hear the ambulances and fire trucks in the outside world. It gives them speed alerts if they're speeding. You can limit the vehicle's top speed to 80 miles an hour. You can even have it so there's a do not disturb feature of incoming texts and phone calls. And it gives the teen additional low fuel light warnings because teens probably don't even look at the gas gauge either. You know, so these are technologies that are built into cars today that, you know, even if the teen has bad practices, it's going to nudge them in the proper direction and hopefully lower the death rate.
And what if we are starting to feel it coming on? Are there any ways to prevent it before it even really starts and becomes a full-blown migraine?
Absolutely, and I'll give you an example. If a migraine patient has change in barometric pressure as one of their triggers, many of them are finding the use of an earplug called Migraine X very helpful. It's best used in conjunction with the free app, which is called Migraine X, and this app can be downloaded to a mobile device. And here's what's really nice is that it sends an alert to the migraine susceptible individual saying, hey, there's a predicted drop or change in barometric pressure. The person can then put the earplug in and it can minimize that change in pressure to the middle ear. And so many of my patients have said, wow, this really makes a difference. And what's also nice is it's latex free. It's less than $10, does not require a prescription.
Yeah, you can go to insure.com to find out exactly where you can get it, but it is available. It's in 2 great flavors. It's in chocolate and then a cafe mocha, which actually has 100 milligrams of caffeine in it, which is the same as 1 cup of coffee. And there's 30 grams of protein for each shake. It's low fat, low sugar. So I know, for instance, and Dr. Pereira said, as an example, if you're 150 pounds, you need about 55 grams of protein a day, minimum, more if you're exercising.
That's awesome in my world is when I do go to Michael's, I do love seeing what you're working on, and I really do go to your aisle in Michael's to see the latest trends. So what are we expecting to see? What are the it things this season?
Well, let's talk a little bit about fall on trend, since we're going to be approaching that very shortly. You know, people often for the fall season, I think they make it too heavy in color tones. So, you know, let's take the traditional burgundy, which I think is appropriate and beautiful and on trend, but let's soften it with some soft blush pink and add some sage green into the color scheme, which is what I've done in front of me. But mashing up metallics is one of my favorite things to do. Doesn't have to be one, it could be all, from rose gold to yellow gold to copper and bronze, adds that sparkle that doesn't typically happen during the fall season. And then if you segue over to winter, you know, my wedding was all white. I love weddings that are white. To me, it's classic and traditional. So you could take traditionalism and add a twist to it by adding some modern touches, which could be just clean glass in the vessels and the accent colors or the accent textures. And then you can use dripping crystals and pearls if you want to be a little bit more romantic. And then right here are all of my wearable line, which is tiaras to belts to brooches to pins, and that sparkle is just not for fashion. It can also be added into centerpieces. It could be added into bouquets. Listen, the sky's the limit on what you can do when you want to be creative.
I really like that tip where you don't have to commit to the fall winter colors like you would, but maybe just use touches. That's a good one to hold on to as well.
Yeah,
well, where can
don't be
people
so
go for more
literal.
information too?
Well, if you go to michaelsweddings.com and you can go and check out everything I've been talking about, you can see my David Tutera Collections line, and you can also walk down the aisle at Michaels, find your style. It's an exclusive line that only can be found at Michaels.
Good stuff, David. Well, how about same time, same place next year?
I would say that is a deal and a date.
Wow, mixed reality. I haven't tried that yet. That sounds pretty cool. Now let's talk about smartphones, because there's a lot of these coming out these days, but you're going to show us one that's actually affordable.
Absolutely. If you want to buy a smartphone as a gift, maybe you don't have $1,000 to spend. All these smartphones are getting really expensive. This is an affordable option. It's the Alcatel Idol 5S, and it's packed with premium features, and it's available on Amazon for under $280. It has a 5.2-inch full HD display, dual front-facing speakers for great stereo sound, and it runs Android, so you have access to all the great apps that you know and love. Plus, it's compatible with 4 of the major cell networks, so it's a great fit for pretty much anyone on your list.
Beautiful. A computer in your pocket that you can actually afford. So now what about the kids? Because there's plenty of tech for them too.
Yeah, this is such a cute idea. I've tried this. I love it. It's the Talkies by Toy Mail. They're a really fun, very huggable way for families to stay in touch. So mom or dad can record a message on the Toy Mail app, and then kids receive it right on their Talkie. Then they can record a message and it goes right back to mom, dad, or even cousins that live in another state, all through Wi-Fi. Now, Talkies have no monthly fees, but they just launched a premium service that gets you kid-friendly jokes and music and educational content, and it's all delivered right through the Talkie.
Medication, it's, you know, I'm just like everybody else, but so let's talk about Qbrexza. What is this so important, and how can it be, and can it be used for kids under 18 maybe?
Yeah, so you really understand, because people who do not have a medical condition, they do not understand that it has nothing to do with you. It's a medical condition that you have. And so the good news with Qbrexza is there's a brand new FDA-approved treatment for hyperhidrosis.